Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placement. Let's get into it. So the first card you have, Gemini, is number 25 and it says, Dear Compassion. It further says, accept everything as it is and find compassion for all in this situation. Number 25, so 2, 5 and 7 are coming through strong with this message. It further says, I lead with compassion and in doing so, I strengthen myself and others. I feel, Gemini, this message is all about, compassion with words, with your expression, being gentle in your ways, in your actions, being empathetic with others, when we speak. That doesn't mean we kind of get carried away by, other people, their words. No, that's not what this is. This is about speaking in a way, in a tone where your words are healing, not hurting. This is deer energy. Deer is very gentle, reminds me of Dami, the deer. Very innocent energy, very compassionate. They also have big horns. Horns actually stand for, to me, they stand as antennas of and connecting to the divine, the divine energies, but they're also very strong because of those antennas, the horns that they have, so it speaks of strength, strength and resilience, I feel that at this point in time, Geminis, you are either, into animal welfare or you're a veterinarian, saving animals or wildlife and things like that. You might be into conservation efforts as well for life protection, because I feel like a few months back I did read about initiatives to save deers and antelopes, for ecological balance is what I had heard. Actually, and then some of you could be actually bringing home rescue animals as well. That's coming through this. Because a lot of compassionate energy in regards to pets and animals, there are also a lot of therapy dogs that are used in schools. You might be in those areas as well. But other than that, this is like, heart chakra activation. This is like opening your heart, opening your home. Some of you might be opening your homes to people to help them out in some way. I don't know, in some rescue effort, some maybe people that have been displaced from home, or it could be in some kind of a situation like that. I feel like opening your home to strangers. Some of you could be providing meals to people, free meals. There are a lot of communities that do that, free meals and kitchens and things like that. So some of you could be into that area as well. I'm getting a lot of kindness energy, the kind of kindness like when somebody just pays for your drink or your coffee at the restaurant, or just, around, maybe just people that come together, help each other, maybe you're part of a community and, somebody comes and tell you something, helps you in some way. It's that kind of an energy as well with the deer. A very loving, kind, compassionate energy. So I feel that for those of you, Geminis, that are, leaders, or where, you need a lot of strength and resilience, I feel that, the thing about this energy is that as when, the Gemini, you're the air sign, you're mutable air. And I feel that some of you could become a little agitated, especially during stressful times, or you a little bit, sarcastic with your comments. It could be. I'm not saying that's where you are, but, sometimes it could be that this energy is advising you because of some reasons. Maybe that, you are feeling a little bit detached, or you're not able to communicate, or able to forgive people, in certain situations. I feel this energy is asking you to open your heart to be more forgiving. Deer reminds me of, the Buddha. Buddha's, enlightenment and his teaching started from the deer park in Sarnath. And that's what comes through. Also, this strongly speaks of Fred Rogers' legacy. His legacy was of kindness. For those of you who read up about him, it's really interesting. That legacy that Fred Rogers left is like of the kindness, and that constantly, influences the younger generations even till today. So I feel that some of you are, more in it's either you're already in that mode or you're advised to be in a more collaborative mode where you're working, compassionately with people, even if there are disagreements, and there are disagreements at all times, whether with our family, our neighbor community, whatever that is, we don't always have to be on the same page. It's like trying to find the middle ground, trying to repair bonds, trying to, lend your ear, listen more than you just, instead of constantly talking and expressing your point of view. I feel this is also an energy where you're gentle in conversations. You're more available to listen. For some of you, you could be, this is also an energy of communication. If you see the image, it's like blowing and spreading out across 360 degrees. This could be, and using your communications across the globe, try to convey some, maybe you're a teacher, you're a mentor, or you have some kind of social media presence where you're trying to, spread awareness about things, or, share your experiences, be more kind and gentle with people so that they heal. This can also be, this is not an energy of like martyr energy. This is not like being a martyr or giving up on your values or things. It's not that. It's, of course, healthy boundaries is always the first thing. But it's like, baby, being gentle with your words and with your ideas and the way you communicate. And because some of you could be, social media people as well, where you're trying to get your point across. There is a growth in, how you want to spread some awareness. I don't know if you have some networking events online or sharing of ideas, a strong influence online. But here's the thing, with this dear energy comes also a lot of emotional responsibility, in the sense that how you deal with your emotions, how you balance out your emotions and your logic, how you, how you're more aware of your situation and how to be more gentle with people, whether in your social groups or your family, any kind of a group setup, whether it's community, neighborhood, or at your work. So gentleness is coming through really strong, and gentleness is a strength. It's not a weakness. I know some people take it for it, so that's why you need healthy boundaries. But this is about just, helping people, like just doing something randomly, acts of kindness, that kind of a vibe with this. The next card you have, Gemini, is the Libra card. So house number 7 energies are affecting you. Now Libra is 7th house, but it is the cardinal air sign. And you are the mutable air sign. So it's a sister house energy that's playing up for you, Geminis. It further says here, consideration, fairness, and harmony. That's what Libras are all about, right? Peace, harmony, balancing situations, seeing both sides of a coin, even though with Gemini, duality comes in, but this energy is asking you to see the whole picture, the big picture, and all multiple sides of a particular issue before you say something. Being mutable, the good thing is that you can adapt really fast. And I feel that this energy is asking you to, use any situation that's not harmonious to transform into a harmonious situation, by being fair, by using your words and diplomacy. You're equipped with sign Gemini. And I feel that this is an opportunity for you to use your words to create that harmonious space. And Geminis, you are such good communicators. It's your suit. It's your forte. So some of you are, actually called to maybe be the spokesperson of a company or to mediate between different companies or between different people. You could be the one who's negotiating deals at this point in time. Something about, writing, using your voice, your words. And I feel that some of you could be on social media as well. I feel that you might be writing things to help people, advise people. But the thing is that you need to keep that balance, that fairness. Because, this energy is all about being responsible and fair with your words, with what you say. Don't say things that you had just heard from your friends or from community or other people at work. You should, it's all about using our words to say things that make sense to us and are aligned with our own heart space. So some of you at this point in time, you might be mediators. Maybe people are estranged or you are trying to unite people or, come together with friends or family or something like that, where you want to have those conversations that are meaningful instead of debates or instead of, those arguments. You don't want that. I also feel that some of you could be in law enforcement or working for law, making laws or enforcing them. Even you might be in decision making where you want to make, better decisions, fairer decisions. Here, the scales that are shown are actually math scales. It's like weighing the heart over here. It's like being true, being fair in all your negotiations, in all your dealings. It's like a responsibility of having fairness and justice and equal space for everyone involved, whether it's in decision making or in communities, like listening to everybody, hearing everybody, making sure that everybody's voice is heard. Some of you could actually be studying law or legal studies and things like that, or into policy or, choosing fairer policies. I do feel that, it's a time for weighing things out, for considering different perspective, everyone's perspective. And I also feel like Libra energy is Venus rule, right? So it's all also about, the love of beauty, the love of, you could be into counseling where, you have to be very fair when you, advice and things like that. You could be into, I feel it's just like, being very cautious about what you say, knowing where to say, where not to say. And also making sure that the scales are balanced up all the time, whether it's energetic balance. It might be that you have, it's also the cosmic balancing of scales where the amount of effort and energy we put in, are we getting something back in return or not? In every area of your life, I think it's a time and opportunity for you to look into all areas of your life. Where are you giving time? Are you getting the results? Are you getting the returns or not? So, it's about balancing your complete lifestyle, your routines. And here below it says, to fairness and balance, my words create harmony. So absolutely. I feel it's a lot about, being fair and square, whether it's at work, in your life in general, balancing your life out, or, negotiating contracts and deals, or even fighting for justice and equality. That might be for some of you. Right? The next card you have, Gemini, is the Nine of Swords. This is the minor arcana. This is air. So Gemini, Libra, Purse, this is your energy out here. So something that you're overthinking or overplaying in your head, creating kind of a prison, mental prison, lost in that. It says here, Father, I free my mind and turn my thoughts into light. So either you're watching scary movies and getting some kind of nightmares, and if that's the case, you can probably look into why you're getting scared of things. What is the fear all about? And then try to resolve that. Because majority of the times, whatever we overthink, majority of the times I feel that fear is not for real. It's just, our mind's trapped in that loop, never-ending loop. So I feel that there is really nothing to worry about. It's just the end of it. You're at the end of it. You're thinking something. You're anxious about something. And I feel that, you'll soon get the clarity. Like, you're just looking for clarity. Something's bothering you. So try to get the clarity into what's bothering you. And, for the most part of it, anything that's bothering us that we are fearful about, there's actually no reason for it. So you can use some spiritual practices or some kind of mindfulness to make sure that you're thinking the right thoughts. And, not watching those movies that really create those nightmares. Some of you, I feel some of you might be working in those areas where people are stressed out. You might be helping them with their anxiety. There's a lot of mental health awareness that's going on these days. It was a taboo before, no more. People are speaking about it. You might be helping someone who is going through this, sometimes when, and also, in these situations, it's better to write your thoughts down. Because that helps resolve the issues themselves. When you write it down, we get more clarity, and that helps us to figure things out, what's bothering us. And, to calm down your nerves, you can, do some therapy, some retreat, some meditation, even breath work helps a lot. So, I see this Nine of Swords as like, messages from the cosmos, as to, some of you might actually be worried about your exams is what I'm getting. Some of you might be law students or students of universities, and you're trying to, study up for some exams that are coming closer. Maybe you're stressed out about that. And some of you, I feel that, you might be worried about your timelines, at work or things like, or in your own personal life, that maybe you have to, give the contract to a vendor or something like that. You might be under pressure for that. But I feel that, and there is always room for negotiation when it comes to negotiating timelines, and deliverables. For some of you, Geminis, I feel that this pressure is actually going to create something marvelous for you. It's like creating a book or a project or a music or something that people will love, that people can relate to. Some of you might be under pressure for creating some kind of music and things like that. But this is not and you had the compassion card, you had the Libra card for fairness and peace and harmony. So I feel that, some of you need to create that peace. That's why you got the Libra card. You might be under inner turmoil. Maybe your emotions are a little bit up and down. Yeah, we had the full moon, and that could trigger that as well. That, when you're not mindful of what we're saying, it could actually, cause us to say hurtful words. So just know that, if your emotions, if you're feeling a certain kind of way, still measure your words and don't be impulsive in your reactions. because you might regret that later on, right? And also be mindful of your thoughts. There's a lot of mindfulness practices that you can adopt to, because our thoughts are really powerful. So don't let your thoughts, bring you down in any way. And the last card for today, Gemini, you have is the ever unfolding rose. That's such a beautiful message. It says everything is going to be okay. Let it crack you open. Further, it says it's happening for you, not to you. Every crack lets more light into my soul's unfolding. Further, it says the challenge of life is to keep your heart open when you most want to close it. To let life crack you open, to open through ups and downs. Whatever is falling away, allow it to fall away. Being human is a courageous act. A life well lived is full of ups and downs and triumphs and adventures. Wherever you find yourself at the moment, life is asking you to keep your heart open no matter how much it hurts. Perhaps you are going through a challenging time right now, so see that challenge as a blessing. Now is the time to go gently. Treat yourself like a tender, sweet baby. Wrap yourself in a blanket and trust that the mother has you cradled in her arms. That's a beautiful message, Gemini. I feel that you are being redirected or realigned in some way. It's like you just need to trust the process, trust the timing. Something is unfolding for you, and that might be the cause of your worry. You might be a little anxious, like when are things going to happen? You might be anxious about the timing. You want it to happen yesterday, but it's going to happen in the divine timing. And I feel that, cracking open, it's like something positive is going to come out of this. I feel that, it's just like when we start an entrepreneurial project, something like the startup, for example, you might be into that. Every startup faces so much difficulty in the beginning. And then finally, when it gets the funding, the right, the right help, the right backing, then that thing becomes known and available to people. It's cracked open. That innovative product becomes available to the world. So it could be something like that. I feel that whatever you're worried about, anxious about, stay strong. There is nothing. You will soon realize, when you look back after a few days in hindsight, you will realize the blessing that is hidden beneath that struggle or that challenge. Just like a rose, it comes with thorns, there is good, bad, and even if you see the unfolding of a rose, but it blooms, it doesn't bloom in a day. It takes its own time, and it goes through so much. Every flower, for that matter, that has petals, that blooms, it goes through its own cycles, it has to deal with, sometimes, go through plant termites and things like that, but then once it blooms after all those challenges, it's a work of art, it's a work of beauty. It's similarly, I feel that you just need a little bit more patience to get to that point. And while you're waiting, don't make it, don't keep thinking about something or overthinking about something. I feel that, if you take to meditation and some practices like yoga and some kind of sound baths and therapies, it will help you develop that resilience and patience, For some of you Geminis, I feel that, you're overthinking, you're in your relationships, like who's giving, who's not, there was a balance card. So you might be thinking about that as well. And I feel for some of you, you're just not interested in those shallow relations anymore or shallow people anymore. You more want to align yourself with people that are more meaningful. Your soul tribe. You want to align with those people. So I do feel that something beautiful will come out of this. This is also, God's love. It's the divine realignment, and it feels a little bit, it hurts a little. It feels a little pooky at this point in time, but then this is something that will create beauty in your life. It's like sometimes when we have to when we are let go of jobs and things like that, it hurts. It pricks for a bit, but then it redirects us into something which is more meaningful that our soul really wants. Soul expansion and growth happens at this point in time. These are, sometimes when things don't go according to us, we're hurt in the process, and we channel that hurt into create something new, meaningful for the world. We share our experience in a more creative way. So you might be called to channel that experience that was not so pleasant into something meaningful. Maybe create an app or create a movement which can help other people. So channel your pain into something creative and more meaningful for the world. For some of you, this is, something that I'm getting right now is that you might be overwhelmed with the responsibility that you have. Maybe it's a business that is growing and you're unable to handle it. Or maybe, the sales have grown and you don't have the product or something like that. It could be some kind of a worry along those lines as well. But instead of overthinking, like how, for example, if the product is over, so don't have to overthink, there are other ways to mitigate that. There's a workaround for every situation. So I feel this moment is just a crack you open where you're expanding. There is growth to be seen. There's a lot of growth and expansion that's waiting for you. So use this moment to channel it into something positive, into something creative, into something meaningful in which you can connect more with yourself and the world. It will liberate you in some way, Gemini. And these being general messages, I want to play out differently in your lives. Let me know in the comments how these energies play out for you or in the environment around you. And hope you enjoyed your messages. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.